Would you like to see a beautiful young woman with a voluminous agenda? Stay tuned. Welcome to New Horizons. I'm Suzanne Barnett, your host, and tonight I always say this, but I am particularly excited and very, very honored and pleased to introduce Naomi Tour. Now, Naomi is a producer, a director, and a graphic artist. She is currently a senior production person at KMVT. And there's so many other things, but we're going to find out even more. Naomi, how'd you like all that?
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction.
Well, you are voluminous, right?
Thank you.
Tonight, though, we're going to really talk about the Global Lives Project, and you're such a big part of that. But your background is so illustrious, and I just would like you to tell the audience about the fact that what you have done with all this talent that you have. You know, like San Francisco, the Exploratorium. Just, you know, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of background, I guess, related to the subject of Global Lives Project. So I've been involved in multimedia probably for the past 10 years. It was something I never thought I would get into because it involves the use of computers, and when I used to write papers in college, I just wanted to throw my computer out the window. But there are many creative potentials with the use of technology, and so I got into that, and one of the projects you're talking about is something that I called Painting Worlds, which was illustrating the existential beliefs of children through working with 50 children in upstate New York and asking them to draw and tell stories about what they're drawing.
So you did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other thing you did with the Exploratorium?
Sure. At the Exploratorium, I was lucky to be there right when they were developing their sound exhibit for the Exploratorium, and we were in brainstorming sessions, and I worked in the multimedia department, and we created an online interactive called Step Remix, and it allowed people, and it still does, it's online right now, it allows people to compose by using dance movements of stepping, or what African Americans call step.
Sounds like like the we, you know.
Yeah, which is very interactive in itself.
So but you're probably ahead of we.
Not at all.
You do so much for KMVT. You know, you do all these projects and prize-winning things, but we're going to talk about Global Lives Project. And aside from your very, very busy life here, Naomi, how did you get involved with Global Lives Project?
So do you want to hear from the childhood perspective all the way through, or do you want to hear about 2 years ago?
No, I do.
Okay. So my mother is Japanese and my dad is Hungarian American, and so I've always kind of grown up in a multicultural household. However, I grew up in a town called Newton, New Jersey, a small town, 7,000 people. 95% of the population is Caucasian and 90% are Christians. And so I grew up in a town that didn't travel as much as my family did, or didn't invite as many guests, international guests, as my family did. And so I felt a little bit discriminated against growing up. And and always wanted to fit in like any kid wants to fit in. And so tried to hide that Japanese part of me and show that, you know, American side of me a lot more, but it always, you know, bubbled up in different ways. So, you know, for example, when I was maybe around 7 years old, I saw all the mothers picking up the kids from school, and my friend Christy's mom was really bubbly and knew how to say, "I love you." "Oh, Christy, so good to see you. I love you." Mwah, 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 and, you know, hugged her and brought her into the car. And then my mom came, and being Japanese, she was very reserved, you know, and put me into the car, and she loved me just as much, but didn't express it the way the other moms did. And so I saw 100% of moms acting one way and my mom acting a completely different way, just because I lived in such a homogeneous town. So I came back that day and I said, "Mommy, I really love you, but I really want another mommy." And that hurt her so badly.
Did it change her at all?
I think she already had her convictions about her. She's a very strong woman, and you know, she moved here when she was maybe 21 for grad school, and so she knew, you know, why she was moving to the United States and everything. But she ended up in a town that was not so open-minded.
And she didn't have very many friends, I bet.
Yeah, she actually did not have friends for 18 years. I grew up in Newton, New Jersey for 18 years, and I did not see her invite one female friend over. All my girlfriends, you know, their mothers socialized with each other, and she was probably very lonely. It wasn't until she finally sent her kids to college, and my parents decided to move to Portland, Oregon, and now she's just living it up, loving life. So,
but how difficult for her as well as you. And
Yeah.
do you think that this is what led you to what you're doing now,
Yeah.
which is so unbelievable?
Exactly.
Well, tell us about Global
Sure.
Lives Project.
Sure. So, so I've been always interested in traveling and the experiences that you get by traveling, kind of the stepping off a plane and going to a new place and experiencing just the subtle ways that people interact with you differently from your own hometown, to smells and sights and, you know, food. And so there's such wonderful subtleties that you pick up in traveling, as opposed to just watching, you know, a representation of that, you know, through parsed down in the general news media, right? And so what the Global Lives Project aims to do is to allow people to step out of their own realities of everyday life and into the realities of people all over the world, but in this wonderfully subtle way that, you know, where it unfolds at a pace of a human life. So what we've done is, with over 600 collaborators, international collaborators all around the world, we've videotaped 24 hours in the lives of 10 people around the world, from Brazil to Serbia to Lebanon, Japan, Kazakhstan, all around, to very, very loosely represent the global population. And we do this in kind of the ultimate long tape, cinema verite, just allowing their lives to just unfold, so you can see that subtle life.
May I ask you
Yeah.
a question about when you got these people? I mean, were they willing to have this happen to them?
Yeah. So each subject and each crew that we chose to support to do this had to apply to our organization to do this, and And a lot of the crew members or producers live in the country where they're taped. So they already might know a friend of a friend who was very interested in participating in the project, or approach someone who seemed like a very interesting candidate to tape. And so by the time, you know, the 10 crew members barged in on their life, they were ready for it. And every single producer has a very close connection to the subjects. So
Okay, so but tell what is the real purpose of what you're doing with this project, Naomi?
sure.
What are you trying to show the world?
I guess we don't have we don't want to. The purpose is not to have a direct purpose. I guess the
Oh,
purpose
really?
is to not to directly sway people into one way of thinking. So what we see is when we see quick bites of portrayals of cultures and peoples and nations, a lot of times it distills that person into one representation. And what we're trying to do is expand people's views. So maybe our purpose is to provide a way for viewers and producers to look at the world in an expansive way, to be able to step into someone's life and see the dignity of everyday actions, everything from just eating your breakfast to maybe praying to working, you know, meeting your friends or playing with your friends if you're little, and to be able to see those, both the similarities and the differences that we have in this world, as well as the hardships and easy life that people have, kind of those dichotomies as well.
What do you think this really is going to accomplish with the masses?
So what we're trying to do is build a video library of human life experience.
Okay.
And that's a crazy goal. It's similar to the Rosetta Project, which attempts to document all the world's languages. And so we have 10 subjects in 10 countries, and we want to create a method where people can continue to videotape in the same style, same cinema verite style, and add to this video library. And it will be translated into as many languages as possible, and so it'll be as accessible as possible. So right now, all of our shorts are translated into 13 languages, and it's fantastic.
And you've been in this project for 2 years.
Mm-hmm, I have.
And the project, so you're in it right from the beginning.
Well, I joined right when we did at the 4th shoot. And so so I've watched 6 more happen, and, you know, collected proposals, saw if, so what we did was we brought in proposals and made sure that they fit our criteria. And our criteria was based on UN statistics of global representation. And so we wanted to make sure that the 10 subjects as a whole would globally represent the world in this global way, in terms of geography, in terms of region, in terms of religion, income, household income, gender, etc. And so obviously we have 50% female and 50% male because that's the population of the world. We have a certain amount of Christians, Muslims, Hindu, and atheist people, and then also a certain percentage of rural versus people from city life, as well as a wide variety of people of different incomes. So, for example, let's see, there is so this one person, I really enjoy learning about this subject. There's this little girl, Jamila, who lives in a refugee camp in Lebanon, and what's really neat about this is it gives us, by portraiting this one girl, we kind of see the historical context in which she lives, and so the 1960s, Israel occupied the Gaza Strip and forced a lot of Lebanese, a lot of Palestinians to flee, and a lot of whom fled. Thank you. A lot of whom fled to Lebanon. And so right now there's 400,000 Palestinian refugees in Lebanon, and they still live there in the refugee camps because they do not have the right to return, even though the UN has been fighting for this. And so Jamila, the subject, she actually grew up in a refugee camp. She's 9 years old and she knows nothing but having grown up in this refugee camp that has been demolished many times over. And her household income, I believe they live on $11 a day in income for 2 parents and 4 kids. And that's, you know, because of the situation in Lebanon, the Palestinians are discriminated against, and so they're not able to work in professional careers. They are they're working as manual laborers or cleaners, and so they're not able to make the income that they need.
Naomi, we have some video that you brought.
Yes.
And just tell us a little bit about it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So this video is great in just portraying what the Global Lives Project is all about and why we're doing it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's see that now.
Sounds
right?
great.
Okay.
The goal of the Global Lives Project is to videotape 24 hours in the daily lives of 10 people from all over the world. Right now we're here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, doing our second shoot for the project.
We are a collective of dozens of filmmakers, artists, architects, programmers, and everyday people from all around the planet.
We're going to end up with 240 hours of footage, and the idea is to take all this footage and create a video installation. And the visitor to this installation will be able to walk through 10 different rooms, and each of the rooms will have the unedited footage of each of our subjects. The point of this is to really take people out of their own daily lives and bring them into the realities of people from all walks of life, from all over the world.
The first Global Life shoot took place in San Francisco, California, with cable car driver James Bullock. Additional shoots are already taking place in other countries.
All our videos will become part of a participatory video library of human life experience, free and open online for contributions from the public.
Quando eu me vi só nesse lugar, eu pensei que preciso sair pra me libertar. Seja com quem for, a minha vida é cantar.
Through immersion in this small but diverse sampling of daily human existence, viewers will be challenged to rethink both their own lives and their connections with the rest of the world.
Eu beijava seu pito, sua boca, sua face. Tudo que eu pedisse, só você que me desse. Ai, pensando Deus se esse quarto falasse.
Check out our website at globallives.org to find out how to get involved in the Global Lives Project.
Se eu ouço a voz dela é através de alô. Se passou pela favela é porque alguém me falou.
Naomi, what a fascinating project.
Thank you.
But let me ask you, how do we get access to all of this?
Sure. We're licensed under the Creative Commons license, and the whole idea behind that is to allow it to be accessible to the general public. And so all of our videos are online right now, and they're stored right now on a website called .sub. And what's really neat about .sub is it allows people all over the world to not only view the videos, but also to translate them. And so even my dad, who knows German, was able to translate the videos online. But in any case, they are accessible online for anyone to download and use and creatively within their own projects. This weekend, as we share the opening of the Global Lives Project in our world premiere, we'll also have a symposium at UC Berkeley and also a discussion of the future of the Global Lives Project to discuss, how best do we make these videos accessible, and how do we also at the same time protect the subjects that we filmed. There are a little girl in Malawi or a child in Kazakhstan, and so when we're filming children and also just people's personal everyday lives, how do we protect those subjects when other people can also have access to them?
So tell the access again. I've forgotten it already.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the access is all online, and people can take it from the web down, and then they can maybe edit it if they'd like. They can display the videos. So our idea is that these videos will be in a large-scale video installation. So it feels very immersive, as though you're just immersed in the daily lives of the people in Brazil and Indonesia and Malawi. And we can do this in San Francisco, and we want this to be a traveling exhibition where anyone around the world can do that. We've already had an exhibit in Sapporo, Japan, one in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and so we know it's possible, and we just have to make sure that whoever is interested in displaying it has access to the videos that they can bring down, and also has the ability to very quickly and easily create this installation that can that's sort of the essence of this first idea that.
Well, tell us again the website.
Sure, the website is www.globallives.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is so, I just can't get over.
It's really exciting.
It really is.
Project.
And I can really understand how you have aligned yourself to this because, well, you're such a talented young woman anyway, and no, I really mean that.
Thank you.
And I don't know what KMVT would do without you. I have to say that. We are so lucky to have you.
Thank you. And we're lucky to have you.
Oh, come on. Thank you.
17 years of producing.
Yeah. I think I'd be a little bit better than I am now. Come on. What I want to ask you is, what is your particular personal dream, vision, that what's going to happen because of this project? What do you think personally?
I guess with all of the trials and tribulations that this universe is going through, with wars and just people killing each other and hurting each other, the suffering over differences, and over differences where that are so, in a way, easy to reconcile if you really just thought hard about it. So what I hope with this project is that people can feel as though they're traveling and learning about people and educating themselves about all the intricacies of different people around the world, understand both the similarities and also the differences within every human, and then reflect it back upon yourself. This person is laughing because of this reason. This woman, she's navigating the Tokyo streets with her wheelchair. This person is living a life in a refugee camp. Now I'm going to reflect back on my own life. Maybe I'm extremely lucky. Maybe I do live in a completely developed nation and have every single, dream I could possibly have. But even if not, to understand human beings and to be able to relate to them on this personal level, I think it's really important. And I think that the more we understand why people are different and why people are similar, and the more we connect ourselves to the world, the less we'll want to wreak havoc on this world that can.
Well, that couldn't be a better reason. And we were talking a little bit earlier about how really we all do have such similarities underneath our basic instincts.
Yep. Yeah,
and
so true.
Isn't it? And to realize that, well, all I can say is that why are we so blessed and those other people aren't? And if that can really get to your gut, maybe it will help the regular person to do something about it, like you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think we can each find our own passion, right, within the world. If we feel lucky, there's something we can do. It can start with a smile, or it could be being involved in, a creative project, or donating to, the earthquake relief fund. Whatever it is, there's something that we can do to help boost the world's morale.
But don't you think it has to come from us first? It's that we have to feel, I hate to say it.
That's true.
But we have to feel good, and then it will spill over.
That's very
to
true.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
Because I know, because I've known you for a long time, and you're so creative, and since you've been in this project, you're like a new person. No.
It's true.
Don't you think?
I feel so passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's a project that I completely align myself with, and because of that, I'm 100% in it, and I 100% believe in it.
Well, we have run out of time, and again, I thank you so much, Naomi.
It's an honor to be on your show, Suzanne. Thank you.
And quickly, the exhibit runs from February to June at
That's
Yerba
correct.
Buena.
Yep.
We've got to mention that.
Yep, it does.
And we only have a couple of days before the big opening, but they can go up to Yerba Buena. And again, the best of luck with this.
Thank you so much, Suzanne.
And I want to. I just can't stop raving about my crew. I thank my wonderful crew so much, and we have such a good time. And they're talented and fabulous and awesome. And I want to thank our audience for watching. How important are they? I would say a lot. And furthermore, I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.